Hello, everybody.
Oh, we have Mr. This is Mr. Wynack. There's two pretrial matters, 4A02-11155 and 4A02-11156. We have uploaded a statement of defendant on plea of guilty as to the cause of burning in 1155. Believe upon the court's acceptance, the city's moving to dismiss the cause of burning in 1156. I did go over that in its entirety as it pertains to an allegation of knowingly possessing a controlled substance. He is indicating no additional questions at this time. So based on our conversation, I do believe he's making a knowing, intelligent, voluntary decision. And we do have some additional information to provide to the court at sentencing.
All right. Just taking a look here. All right. Good morning, Mr. Wynack.
Morning. Good morning.
I have a document before me entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty with your name and cause number 4A02-11155 on it. Looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to put an X on the signature line of this document on your behalf. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And did you have the chance to read or have read to you this entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to go over the document in its entirety with Ms. Pimentel?
Yes.
Was she able to answer any questions that you had about the document?
Yes, she was.
Do you have any questions for me about it?
No, it's okay.
All right, well, we're going to go through this together starting with paragraph 1. So if any questions do come up, please feel free to raise them, okay? So I'm going to have you tell me your full legal name and how old you are.
James Allen Wynot. I'm 45. I'll be 46 this month.
Okay, well, happy birthday in advance. Paragraph 3 indicates that the highest level of education you've completed is a GED. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
The microphone on that computer is a little bit touchy, so you have to make sure you're direct and speaking to it. So paragraph 4 indicates the crime that you intend to plead guilty to today is one count of knowingly possessing a controlled substance. The elements of that crime were set forth in the charging documents you received. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure they accurately describe the crime you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yes.
You also understand that those elements are what the city has to prove in order to have a finding of guilt enter against you.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you. You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you. Those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. It requires that a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you, and you have the right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights, and by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
Yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes, I did.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6A accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes.
But you understand, as the judge, I don't have to follow that recommendation or anyone's recommendation. I can sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 180 days in jail, $1,000 fine, and 2 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. You understand?
Yes.
All right. You also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences.
Correct.
And you also understand this is considered a drug offense and therefore can impact your eligibility for state or federal education benefits.
Yes.
Did you go over all of these consequences with Ms. Pimentel?
Yes.
And Ms. Pimentel, did you discharge your duties pursuant to Padilla and Sandoval?
I did.
Mr. Wynack, has anyone made any threats or promises other than what's contained in this paperwork to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Yes.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense. It reads as follows. On March 22nd of 2024 in Bothell, Washington, I did knowingly have in my possession a controlled substance that I did not have a valid prescription for in my name. Is that a true and accurate statement?
Yes,
Do you adopt that statement as your own?
I do.
Then to the charge of knowingly possessing a controlled substance as charged here under this cause number, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
Guilty plea will enter. I find it's knowingly voluntarily made and that there is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's plea of guilty. I'm signing it right now. All right. Does the city have anything to add to its recommendation?
Your Honor, no, this isn't a great recommendation.
Is the city making a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, the
Or
city
did you
did.
already do that?
No, that's
You
fine.
did a motion to.
City is moving to dismiss the other case in its entirety. That's for a 02-11156.
Okay. I will grant the city's motion to dismiss all of the charges contained, oops, come on, in the cause of action 4A02-11156, driving while license suspended in the third degree, trip permit violation, and operating motor vehicle without a functioning, I believe it's without a functioning, oh, sorry, without a valid certificate of title. There we go. I will grant that dismissal with prejudice. I'm signing that now. There we go. With regard to sentencing, Ms. Pimentel.
Your Honor, we are asking the court to follow this recommendation. He does have the total 8 days credit for time served. There was a prior booking from the initial booking when he was first arrested, so that would total the 8 days. I know he's had a really rough time. He has been living in clean and sober housing down in Tacoma. His concern is that he's not going to be able to maintain that since he's been in custody now for almost a week. But he is going to contact them and see if that's still a possibility. If not, then I think he's going to be looking into hopefully some other options. But I do know that he's been having a very hard time as far as stability goes. His car was impounded when he was arrested, and he had some work tools and things like that that were in the car. And so he's the concern obviously is going to be able to get all of that out of that and out of impound. So he will be working on that as well. But I did indicate to him that probation was a phone call. And so with a date and an appointment, I think hopefully he'll be able to make that happen. Even if he is still residing down in the Tacoma area, he knows he can get that treatment completed in any jurisdiction as long as that's through a state certified agency.
Mr. Winnock, this is your opportunity to tell me anything that you would like me to take into consideration before I pass sentence. It's called your right of elocution.
I mean, I don't know. I know that this little charge has cost me a lot. I mean, I've lost my first vehicle when I got impounded, and then now this vehicle. I just took me like 6 months to save up all the money to get this vehicle. I haven't put it in my name yet, but I did get my license, so I was trying to make it to where they couldn't impound it, but they still impound it. And now I've been in here. I can't even get the stuff out of the vehicle. Like literally, I just lost everything I own again. And then while I was in jail, the guy cleaned the sober house. I finally got my other attorney to call. He basically said, "Oh, well, we thought you were off doing drugs, so we just basically were terminating your residency and type stuff." And the guy was saying he went in my room, and as of the first, I'm not gonna have nowhere to live. So I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm ready to just give up. Like literally, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't have no money. I don't have nowhere. Like literally, it's cold outside, and I had a job opportunity, but now I don't have my vehicle. I don't know how I'm gonna get another vehicle. Like I don't know what to do. I don't even know if I should have said any of this, but I mean, that's what I'm going through. I mean, I guess I'm done. I don't know. Is there any options, or can the court help me with maybe getting my stuff back from the vehicle, or get my vehicle out of the impound, or maybe helping me find housing, or?
So there are options available to you for some resources, but we'll talk about those in a moment. I'm looking at a couple of things here, and I think the reason that let me take a really quick look here.
Like I know I didn't come and turn myself in here, but I did turn myself. It's just I have so many different court dates going on that it's so clustered. That's how I got warrants last time, is because I can't maintain all these different court dates. And so I took care of the Snohomish County. I took care of the Cascade, and I'm ready to plea out on the Cascade one. And then I was going to come to Bothell, and I wanted to make sure I had my license, which I got my license. And that's just, I haven't had time. I mean, the reason I was even up in this area was because I was going to go to court for my DUI, and I got stopped in the process of doing that. So I am trying to take care of everything I got to do. It's just so hard being now that, especially now I got a vehicle again. I don't, I don't know.
All right, so that's the Everett District Court DUI. It's a pretty old one. All right. Mr. Wynock, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow this recommendation for one thing. So you're gonna get out of custody. So we'll start there. Let's do the sentencing. 180 days, 172 days suspended, giving you 8 days to serve, 8 credit for 8 days already served. $1,000 fine. I'm gonna suspend the entirety of the fine, and I'm gonna make a finding that at this point in time, given your custody status, you are indigent, and I'm gonna waive any non-mandatory cost, fees, and assessments. I am putting you on probation for 24 months. On the following conditions, all right? Notify the court in person or in writing of any change of address, have no new criminal law violations for which there's probable cause. Keep your address up to date with the court, and it's just a mailing address so that you are sure to get any summons we send. I'm going to say, do not use, possess, or have under your control any controlled substances, marijuana, cannabis, or any other derivatives, alcoholic beverages, or drug paraphernalia without a validly issued prescription in your name. I'm going to require that you get a substance use disorder evaluation and follow the recommended treatment. I want you to have that evaluation done within, I'm going to say within 60 days of today. Have you started treatment within 90 days? All right.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I want to get through this. I'm going to give you a probation officer to meet with. It's going to be Paige Sprague. Right. I misspelled her name because I can't type. There we go. And I'm going to set an appointment for you to make a phone call to get a hold of her. All right. You just have to make that call at that time so you can talk with her. Paige is going to be the person. I'm going to try to set it as quickly as possible because she's going to be able to help you with all these things that you're concerned about, getting housing, I don't know about the car. That's something that you're going to have to work out. Maybe with Miss Pimentel can give you some advice where to go. I can't give you advice on that. All right.
I don't even have a phone. It's in the car, and the car isn't in my name yet. And so
Right.
they're going to even let me get none of my stuff out of the vehicle. So I don't
So
know.
that's something that you're going to want to talk with an attorney about. I can't advise you because that means I'm not being an impartial jurist. I'm starting to
Okay.
become your advocate, right?
You're right.
So this is what I want to say though. I want to make sure it's clear. I'm looking at all the stuff you have, and I agree you have a lot of courts on your plate. If you're handling a DUI in Everett District Court, if that ends up in a conviction, most likely you're going to be on some form of probation there, and it's going to be longer than the probation here. What I want to indicate here is that I'm going to authorize probation to be transferred to, I'm not going to say, I have to phrase this. The court authorizes probation can be consolidated to one court if agreeable to all the courts involved. Okay. So what I'm basically saying is I'm okay with that. It's going to require the other courts to say so too. Paige will be able to take that and work with that. Because if we're having you go to a bunch of different probation officers to do the exact same thing, it seems like that's a very inefficient use of your time and ours. It also seems like it's an inefficient use to have you go from court to court to court, right? What it means is if you get violated in a different court, you're going to be back before me for possible sanctions.
Yeah.
If we feel that's appropriate, but it's going to give you one contact instead of having like 3 different people you have to call into or meet with for probation. Trying to make this a little bit simpler for you.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm going to set that appointment with Paige, and you're going to ask her right away, I guess, when you get out of custody. I want you to try to talk to the diversion center that's right there about all of these issues that you're concerned about, especially the housing. But also
I
talk
got till I know I got until the first here at Chase Recovery, and I mean, if I have to, I'll squat. I don't care. I mean, literally, the guy's done me dirty really bad.
I'm so sorry. All right, so Madam Clerk, when is the earliest appointment we can set with Ms. Sprague for Mr. Wynox so that he can get working with her on fulfilling some of these things that he needs to get done?
Your Honor, we have December 18th at 1 p.m. phone appointment.
Okay, that's next Wednesday, so hopefully that'll give you, if you've got a place to stay right now, you'll be able to work with her and get something set up. You'll also be working hopefully with the diversion center. All right, let's get
Right.
everybody we can working to get you a warm place to stay. All right.
Yeah.
And then also getting you into the treatment. If you're in clean and sober, it's probably going to be a fairly simple movement in that direction,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
All right. Let me take a look at one more thing before I let you go. I just want to make sure you didn't post bond at some point, and it doesn't look like it from what
I
I can see.
posted bond in Skagit County, so I'm out on bail in Skagit County.
All right, so not here. I can't control their bond, so I just wanted to make sure that if you had, I returned it to you, but you haven't in my court. So, all right, with that, I think, whoops, before I sign, I've learned I need to allow counsel an opportunity to look and make sure I checked all the boxes I'm supposed to check.
Thank you.
Mr. Weinock, I know that it feels like you've been held and everything else, but the goal of this court is to not see you again, in that you're not committing any new criminal law violations and your life is taking a turn for the better. And I'm sorry that the clean and sober housing issue is there. Hopefully that can get resolved in a positive way. Hopefully you can get your tools and things back. As far as the vehicle, obviously talk with an attorney about that, because if you have, there may be
title and
you
the
can take
vehicle.
to get it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So with that, Ms. Greenwood, any issues?
No, I don't see any, thank you.
All right, Ms. Pimentel?
No, no, it's fine.
All right, then I'm going to sign that judgment and sentence, and again, say good luck to you, Mr. Warnock. Hopefully I don't see you, right? Unless you want to come in and say hi. We do have some resources at the court if you like clothing, socks, food, stuff like that, if you needed to stop by. But sounds like Bothell is not your place. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a request for a soda order. Is that still being requested?
Yes,
I did not, I checked the box, but I did not talk about that. So, Mr. Weinock, the soda order is the stay out of drug area order, saying that you will not go to certain areas in the city of Bothell. There's, I think, about 13 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Did you have a chance to look at that map beforehand?
No, I mean, I don't really come to Bothell. I was just driving through when I got stopped, and
Okay.
but my daughter does live in Kirkland, and I'm trying. If I can get housing up here by her, that'd be cool, really, because I haven't
Okay.
seen my daughter in like a year. So
Well, that would be fine. Just you're included in your paperwork is going to be a stay out of drug area order that says there's certain areas in Bothell you can't go to. All right, make sure you abide by that. If you need to be able to go to any of those areas, you're going to let the court know. I can look at the reason why you need to go. If I agree that it's a legitimate reason, I will make an exception for you.
I go grocery shopping.
Right, exactly. So that if that's the only grocery store you can go to. But again, don't go unless you have that permission from the court, because it's a crime to just be there.
Okay.
Law enforcement can figure out that you are, maybe they recognize you, maybe they run your plate, whatever it is that they do. Murphy's Law comes into play. You get identified, you get arrested. Okay, that's not where we want to go again, right?
Right.
So make sure you know where those areas are and you don't go there. That will be for the period of 2 years of this matter. Okay. So I think that's it. Does Ms. Pimentel have permission to put your X on the signature line on the judgment and sentence?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yes.
And with that, good luck to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Prayers to this guy. I really hope he gets it together. Hope he gets his stuff back. Hope he has a place to stay warm. And I hope that this doesn't set him back on his path to sobriety. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.